Alright, I'm back again for another collection video, one of the last ones for my video game collection. So we are on to the last final stretch, just a couple more systems to go. Today the topic is the PSP, and as you can probably hear, it is raining outside, also some thunder, so there's some extra ASMR soundscapes for you. Please enjoy. Now, the PSP is a handheld system. I don't have that many of the handheld systems or games for them, but the PSP, I do have this. I think this is the 3000 model, so this is the last model that they released. It's upside down. Does have the improved screen from the original, and also plays physical games, which is a very important thing for me, obviously. Some of the later PSP models didn't play physical games, and now that the PSN store for the PSP doesn't exist anymore, like, what good are those systems for? Not that much, really. So always love the physical. I also really like this format. It's very novel. The only system that uses this, created by Sony, I believe, the UMDs, these small discs. Quite cute, and I like these plastic containers. These are really fun. So there's a spoiler for you, that Star Ocean First Departure. I'll put it back in. I never had a PSP when it was new. I'll put it upside down. I never had a PSP when it was new. Why doesn't it close? No, okay. So I only got this a couple of years ago, I think, and I haven't used it that much. I have this problem with handheld consoles. I can't really find a situation where to use them because I don't travel to work or anything like that. I don't like playing games before I go to bed either. So it's just sitting there in my collection, like backlog in the cupboard. But yeah, right. Let's get into the games. I've been rambling on for a couple of minutes now. I have 26 games here, so not the largest collection, but a pretty good number of some high quality titles. Starting off, I have a couple of Japanese games here. This is the Neon Genesis Evangelion Decade Memorial Box. I bought this from Tokyo for 800 yen, so that's like a little over 5 euros, I think. Has a really nice looking box. Now, what does this come with? This comes with this. I think this is an RPG, Neon Genesis Evangelion. What is this? Another cases. Okay. Yeah, I think this is an RPG, complete in box. Doesn't have English, so I can't play it, but I like to have Evangelion-related things in my collection, so why not? And this also comes with the UMD movie for Neon Genesis Evangelion Death True Squared, or whatever that's called. So it's one of the Evangelion movies. I haven't seen this, actually. Yeah. Doesn't have English subtitles. So for those who don't know, the PSP, in addition to playing these games on the UMD, they also had movies. I do have one here in a collection that I'll show in a second. But yeah, so that's Evangelion. And then I have a second Evangelion game here. This is Battle Orchestra. So this is a fighting game featuring Neon Genesis Evangelion characters. Surprise, surprise. So I have that one as well. I'm pretty sure the PSP is region free, so I could technically play those games even if they don't have the English subtitles or the English language options. Right, next up, I have a copy of the original Blood Bowl, which is a strategy sports game, fantasy game, violent fantasy version of American football. Now, one of the reasons I have a hard time collecting PSP games is that, well, it's quite rare to find them where I live. But also, for some reason, these stickers, they always seem to come off. This one, for example, has come off multiple times. I've put it back there. It doesn't look really good. Some of these cases are completely missing these as well. So for some reason, the stickers come off quite easily. But yeah, that's Blood Bowl. I haven't played any of the games in the series, but I probably should because it sounds like something I would like. Next up, I have Crisis Core, the spin-off game for Final Fantasy VII. Never played this either. This recently got a PS4 and PS5 release, so I'll probably check that out instead of playing the PSP version, but I still have it in the collection. Right, next up, a fighting game. This is Darkstalkers Chronicles: The Chaos Tower, 2D fighting game. Really, really good looking art. I like the Darkstalkers art design a lot, even if I haven't played these games that much. Right, next up, a Sony exclusive from a system, not a system, but a franchise that is unfortunately dead and dusted. No new games probably coming for this one. I wish there were, because this is a really good game. So, Fat Princess, A Fistful of Cake, which is a real-time strategy game. Very interesting game for the PSP, very unique. I don't think there are that many games like this for the PSP. Also, this is one of the few physical releases for Fat Princess games. There are more of them. You can get them for the PS3, for example, but I don't think there are any physicals for those. Right, then I have the original Final Fantasy here. The European copy for this. For some reason, there are a lot of American copies of this for sale in Europe. But yeah, this is the European one. I could have also got the second one from the same person who was selling that, but I didn't buy that, and I'm regretting that decision because it was for a really good price. I should have got it. Right, then I have Final Fantasy Tactics, the War of the Lions version of this. And as those who watched my PS1 videos know, I haven't played Final Fantasy Tactics. I have the Japanese PS1 version on my shelf. Right, and this also comes with some extra stuff in it. Has this sort of like an art card, character art card. And what is this? Define the future of gaming with us. Some kind of an advertisement. It's just one of these mail-in notes, or whatever you want to call it, mail-in postcards. This PSP, like one thing that I don't like this is that they only have this one holder for the manuals, and it's kind of wonky. Right, next up, a UMD for Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. I don't think I've seen this one. I've seen the other Final Fantasy movie, The Spirits of Something, and I remember hating that when I was a kid. I saw it in a movie theater. The 3D animation movie. I just hated it. Also, this that happens to have a German back cover. So, yeah, there's a UMD for Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Next up, a really beat-up copy of Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, which is the only Grand Theft Auto game that I haven't played ever at all. The other one that I haven't finished is GTA London for the PS1, but this one I've never played. So this is a return to the old school style of GTA from this top-down view. And supposedly a very, very good handheld game, so I should check it out. Unfortunately, it does have a case that's cracked from multiple spots. Yeah. What does the manual look like? Because these games often have a very good-looking manual. Yeah, it has all the radio stations here. Yes, it's in the same style as the other GTA games, where this is like a town, like tourist guide or a city tourist guide. Looks good. Next up, I have a sealed copy of Half Minute Hero, which is this RPG game that plays in these short loops. Looks like a very, very interesting game. I'm just debating if I want to open the plastics, if I want to unbox this, or if I should just keep it sealed. But when the time comes, I will make the decision. Right, then I have the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which is a spin-off game, or not a spin-off game. It is a mainline game in the sense that it takes place in between the first and second games, I think. But yeah, it's a spin-off game in the sense that it's not a mainline Sony console. So this was released for the PSP. I've played this on the PS3 from the HD collection. So I've never played this original version, but I remember liking the HD version quite a bit. If I remember correctly, this is the one with multiple playable characters. So there are all these different characters you can play as, and it's a really long game as well. Yeah, an alright Kingdom Hearts game. Then I have some greatest hits here. PSP essentials. I have the original Little Big Planet, which does have a broken case. It doesn't hold the UMD properly anymore. Yeah, Little Big Planet. I've played this on a PS3. Don't feel any need to play it on a PSP. And then the original Loco Roco, I've played this on a PS4. So I just have this in a collection. And this is the Nordic copy. What was this? This has what is this? Spanish? I'm debating if I should try to say this out loud and risk enraging all the Spanish viewers. Yeah, I'm not going to say any of that. I can't speak the language, so. Right, and then I have a boxed copy of Loco Roco 2, missing the manual. And this also has, what is this? Yeah, this also has a Nordic cover. And I've never played the second game. I should probably check it out at some point. And then onto the next stack, I have here a copy of Lumines 2, which I also have for the PS2, I think. But yeah, puzzle game. For the PSP and other for the PSP and other handheld systems, puzzle games are really good for these types of systems. So Lumines 2. And then I have an American copy of Lunar Silver Star Harmony, which is a JRPG. I used to play this game on a PS1. I had a pirated copy from Thailand of this game. Or maybe it was the other Lunar. There are two of these Lunar games on a PS1. I can't remember which one I've played, but yeah. So this is an HD version of one of those old Lunar games. And I remember it being really difficult. Maybe it was just me being 10 years old and not understanding what I was doing, but I was getting wrecked by the just basic enemies in the overworld. I probably wandered off somewhere I shouldn't have gone. Yeah, a classic JRPG. Then I have one of the Monster Hunter games, Monster Hunter Freedom. I've played a couple of hours of this, and I've never really gotten into the Monster Hunter games. They are very complicated, very multiplayer focused as well. So just trying to play these as a single player experience is not very enjoyable. But yeah, it was quite kind of interesting, very different from other styles of games that I've played. Right. Then I have a copy of this PlayStation Network collection. I think there are a couple of these. This is the Power Pack edition, which has on the same UMD Beats, Flow, and Siphon Filter Combat Ops. A very interesting choice of games, because you have just two games here that are these like soundscape experiences, like audiovisual experiences, kind of like puzzle games, rhythm games. Very difficult to explain. Flow is a fantastic title. I really like this one. It's by the people who made Flower and Journey, so this is one of their early games. I really like this one. Beats I've never played. And then there is a third-person shooter, Siphon Filter, one of the last Siphon Filter games that was released. This doesn't fit at all into this collection, but all right. Yeah, I should get the other PlayStation Network collections as well. There's one for the PS3 that is very expensive, and I think the PSP has a couple of these. Right. Then I have another PSP Essential here, Patapon. A very, very interesting like rhythm game, 2D puzzle platformer, whatever. Very interesting title. I also have this for the PS4. Right. Then I have here one of the hardest hitters on the PSP. This is the Power Stone collection. Now, if you ask someone who grew up with the Sega Dreamcast what their favorite games were, they will most likely mention Power Stone. I never owned a Dreamcast, so I don't have childhood memories of this game series, but these are very, very good 3D, like beat 'em up games, 3D, these fighting games. Yeah, I don't know, just a fantastic series. Great visuals, great gameplay. Really fun multiplayer games. Now on a PSP, playing as a single player, is it fun? Yeah, sure, but it would be better on like couch co-op, but don't really have that option with the PSP. Now, I have here one of the Puzzle Quest games. Next, Puzzle Quest Challenge of the Warlords. These look like cheap mobile games, but I think some of these games, at least in the series, were also released for the PS2. I don't have any of the other ones, but yeah, this is like a combination of an RPG and puzzle game. So it has this combat has this puzzle element in it. Next up, one of the more sought after PSP titles. This is the original Silent Hill Origins. Later released also for the PS2. I unfortunately don't have the PS2 version, but as far as I know, this original PSP version is the superior one. Just simply because the game was designed to be played with only one joystick, like the PSP has, only one joystick. So the PS2 version isn't probably, like, it probably runs better and looks better, but it hasn't been designed for the PS2 originally, the game. So yeah, this is one of the Silent Hill games that I haven't played, and I don't know. I don't really feel the need to play these older Silent Hill games that I haven't played, because they usually aren't very good. So maybe Origins is good. I'll definitely play it at some point, but it's not a priority. Right. And then I have here the case for the Star Ocean First Departure that I showed at the start of the video. The UMD is in the console itself. So First Departure, I started playing this game years and years ago, and then I stopped playing it for some reason, and then I picked it up again, and I stopped playing it, and then I picked it up again, and I stopped playing it, and I've been playing it on and off for several years now, and I think I'm at the final dungeon, but I just haven't finished it, so maybe I should. Yeah, I didn't really get into this game that much. The pacing, especially at the start of the game, is really poorly done. It didn't like grab me at all. It took like 10 hours to really get going, which was not necessarily the best possible design choice. Yeah, the start of the game is not very strong, but it does get stronger later on. It's an alright JRPG, just nothing special in my opinion. The characters are quite generic, and the American voice acting is awful, like they usually are. like anyone who isn't an American and who listens to this JRPG American English voiced actresses and actors, like they sound so obnoxious. It is so annoying. Yeah. All right. Then I have here Tenchu: Time of the Assassins, which is a Tenchu game that I haven't played. If I'm not mistaken, this is the last one in the series. Tenchu has been gone for a long, long time. Yeah, Time of the Assassins has many of the original characters. Rikimaru Ayame from the original 2 games. Don't know much about it. And then lastly, this is the last one I have here, so not that many games this time. Lastly, I have the Valkyrie Profile Lynette, complete in a box. Now, Valkyrie Profile is another one of these games that I had played on a PS1 as a pirated copy, or from a pirated copy. Or I played a pirated copy of it. Just trying to get the grammar correct here. Right, bear with me. And I was always intrigued by this game because it has a very unique and different feel from other JRPGs of that era. A very interesting soundtrack as well, really good soundtrack. Has this like Norse mythology elements combined with this fantasy world. Yeah. The problem is that my PS1 copy, the pirated copy, always crashed like a couple of hours into the game, so I've never played the original Valkyrie Profile that much. Yeah, Lynette. I should check this series out. Hopefully the series also comes back at some point, because they definitely deserve remakes or remasters at least. Right, I'll probably move a couple of the games here so I can get the stacks to be around the same size. Yeah, the same height. So that's my PSP collection. A short video this time. Not that many games, but many really good ones. Now, the problem with the PSP is that there aren't that many copies of these games going around. So the ones that are very good and very sought after are also very expensive, like the Persona games and the Corpse Party games. These are some of the games that I would like to have in a collection, like to add into the collection, but it's not that. It's not really. I'm not interested in spending hundreds of euros on PSP games. Just yeah, I'm not that big into handheld gaming in general. As you will see from the next video, which is going to be a Nintendo collection. I'll go through all of my Nintendo games for all the systems in one video, probably, or maybe 2 videos. And I don't have that many games for the handheld systems, for the Nintendo ones either. So yeah, that's that. I'll return with some Nintendo games next time, so look forward to the next one in a couple of days. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.